What's going on, everybody? It's been a while since I've done a 3D scanning video, so I wanted to just kind of touch over some points I've touched on in the past, show the machine that I am using, and kind of give tips and hints that might help you out if you're scanning something with a different scanner. So these should be general tips and tricks to help you when you wind up getting a 3D scanner, or if you end up leasing or renting one to complete a project. So what I have here is a Thor Calibri. So the Calibri, it's a structured light scanner. This will take, it's going to project a pattern over the part, and then the distance that it takes that light to travel back into one of the recording lenses is the distance that it is away. And because there's two of them, as the geometry changes, that's how it knows where it is in space. So it's estimating its place in space through the data that it's getting from the scan. So the high precision scanners will either have a second module like over there that's measuring where this is in space, and then that's measuring where the part is. Other ones might be on an arm, and the actual angle that arm is at is measured. So each time that it moves, it's the scanner has moved this much. It doesn't matter if it's scanning or not, it knows where it is in space. So it's good to understand, because once you get into 3D scanning, the architecture and the type of scanners, and the laser scanners versus blue light scanners versus white light scanners, it's all something to learn. What I've found is that most scanners in or under the $1,000 to $2,000 price range don't seem to be worth it. That's just my personal opinion. I have seen some around and a little under the $1,000 range that actually looked like they would start working for certain pieces, and those happen to be like turntable style setup ones. But what I specifically wanted was, hey, if I'm going to go out and I want to scan the side of a helicopter, I can't do that on a turntable, or I can't do that with one of these little limited ones. I need something more versatile, something that I can take with my laptop, and that's what I did here. Now, one of the big reasons that I decided to go with Calibri here was the fact that it has a nice touch screen setup here. So no matter which brand you get, when you start scanning, either on the computer or on your screen here, it's going to give you a color set. So what this is telling me is red is telling me I'm too close to the part, and where it turns white, it's just not even reading it anymore. When you back up and it's green, and you can even see the light projecting that pattern, green is ideally where we want to be, and blue is too far away. So blue, I'm too far away from the part. Green, I'm perfectly. Red, I'm too close. So what I did here is I turned on live view, which will build the 3D model when I start scanning. So right now it's not scanning, this is kind of a preview, but we'll see if I can scan this while holding the phone. So I'm going to look through the phone here as I scan, and it's funny because I'm moving the phone close and in and out for this. But okay, so we're scanning some insoles here, and then hold on, before I start scanning, the other thing, go ahead and pause this for a second, is the environment. So the environment is very important on what you're scanning. Objects like this cutback here might be too shiny. Objects like that, our little hand over there, will be too shiny. These will create reflections, which are going to create noise in our 3D scan. So you want to do everything you can to move shiny reflective objects away from your scanning area. Excuse me. And then the other thing is if you're scanning something shiny, or you can't remove shiny objects from your area, you ideally want to use some type of spray or something you can use to dull the surface. What I found that works really, really well is Gold Bond foot powder spray. And they actually have a double the foot powder. If you can get the one that's double the foot powder, that's the one that you want. None of the ones that I have are double the foot powder right now, but I have seen that it exists, and that one sprays a whole lot. Now the Gold Bond brand specifically has a lot of powder, but I noticed that it does get a little grainy, so your surfaces are going to kind of look like a casting. So if you want a finer surface, you might have to do something that's a little bit finer on the powder itself. And I've seen other brands do a pretty good job. as well. I just turned out that I liked Gold Bond. Okay, so let's give this a shot. I will try to line this up best I can. Okay, so we can see that it's building a 3D model as we are walking around the part. And you can see that barcode there is having trouble scanning that barcode because it's mostly black. And what I'm trying to do here is make sure I get up underneath that insole as much as possible. Come around. And you want to just do everything you can to be smooth. See how it kind of got a little messy there? Like I went over into the part of the table. I was a little fast with my movement too. So ideally you do want to be just as smooth as you can be with your motions. There we go. So see, it's a little jittery. It's actually been a long time since I've calibrated this. And man, holding my phone and the scanner is a little different. But I need to 3D print a new calibration stand. I actually broke the stand that I calibrate this on. So my scan might not be as clean as I normally would get it. But that looks pretty good. I mean, that's pretty dang good for a beginning scan. So we're gonna stop that. And I'll show you what it looks like on the computer's end. So if you're curious about this scanner, right now this scanner is a Russian-built scanner. I bought this like 3 years ago, so before there was any Ukrainian tension. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have been able to get a hold of it. So that was the viewport, so I can actually bring up the screen of the scanner so I could see the scanner scanning while we're doing stuff. Over here are the scans that were just created, so we'll open one of these. It'll take a second. So this is what we just scanned. So this is what is called a point cloud. So if you've never seen a point cloud, you know, as you zoom out, it looks pretty solid. Looks like what we scanned. As you get close, you know, you'll see that these are just little strips of points in space, and they're all thin. So it's pretty neat. I mean, these are quite literally individual points in space. So it's pretty cool that this and this data here, that's what winds up creating our 3D models. So it's pretty neat to see it kind of up close like this. So what I do next is I come up here and I've got some general settings in here, so I can change like the resolution, the hole fill size, the sharpness, remove markers, stuff like that. So I'm gonna leave it where it is at the moment, and we'll just hit translate. And now this will take a few minutes to texture this thing, but as it starts building, it's going to turn this into a 3D model. So once this gets closer to like 90-ish%, it'll be a 3D model. It'll finalize it. Now it'll be a flat 3D model. So we'll use this for tracing purposes. We'll use this to mock up next to the actual real part. Or we'll use it just like you would in tracing paper, where you would trace pencil over top of the object on the page behind it. We're going to 3D model and match this shape to the 3D model. Now I'm also going to take some physical measurements, you know, measurement here, measurement here, measurement here, measurement here, thicknesses, so I can confirm that this information is accurate. And when we do that, we will have our final 3D model. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of give an update. We're still using 3D scanning daily. It is a big part. Maybe not daily. I use it weekly. Sometimes I use it 3 times a day. Sometimes I don't use it for 2 weeks. It's actually been about 2 weeks since I've scanned anything. And then I had 2 things come in today to get scanned. Actually 3 objects to get scanned. So this was 2 different objects, 2 different insoles. And we also have a cool hood vent from an 18-wheeler that will be 3D scanning. So 3D scanners are a big help to 3D printing companies. If you don't have a 3D scanner, I highly recommend that you find someone that does, or you find a local company that does 3D scanning and partner with them. Figure out what their rates are, put that on your website, upcharge it a little bit. If it costs you $100 an hour to rent a high quality 3D scanner, or $300 an hour, put $200, $400, that's what you charge to 3D scan, and then go get the scanner, get good at using it, That way that you're the professional when people come to you and you're able to scan something professionally, rather than the person going out and renting the scanner themselves and not really knowing what to do. It's kind of like renting a race car versus being a race car driver and being able to drive any car. Maybe that's not a great example, but all I'm saying is 3D scanners are awesome. I'm sure you'd like to use one if you're not using one. If you are using one, you've got really good results, comment down below. Tell me what scanner you're using. I'm interested in getting into potentially another small one in the $500 to maybe $2,000 range or less. Something for smaller parts. This scanner is actually more ideal for parts about 6 inches up to about 6 feet, but it's not really good at anything that's about 1 to 3 inches. So if you're having a good luck with the scanner, comment below. If you've had bad luck with the scanner, or a scanner you weren't able to figure out, even if it may or may not have been the scanner's issues, comment down below. Let me know, and I'd love to hear your feedback. But have a good day, guys, and thanks for watching the video.